My name is Vernal. I'm a former U.S. Marine. My primary MOS was 5811. I was a military police. It's back in 1983, I believe it was. The Polaris Missile Site in Goose Creek Naval Weapons Station here in Charleston. We had trenches raids. I go out and I surveyed and I see it and I said, wow, my God. I said, these guys can't drive these big LTVs, man. Someone's going to get hurt. I go back and I report my findings. And he says, Sergeant, I'm the officer here. You get the men out there and you train them. These guys have never driven. Going up here, so I'm riding up and down the platoon. Well, I circle around to come back up to another. By this time, this guy runs into one of the hugest oak trees that they have over there. And on the Naval Weapons Station, it was known for big oak trees. The top bounces off, it hits the private, it goes into his chest, he falls back in the vehicle. I immediately respond to the incident. I call it in as I'm getting there. I get in, and this guy is lying here. He said, Sergeant, you promised me you wouldn't let nothing happen to me. And then dies. But I wouldn't leave. So I guess I kind of just went into a different mindset. They kept trying to get me out of the vehicle. I wouldn't get out of the vehicle. I'd never had a Marine die. I mean, now, this is peacetime. I'm not in a conflict. And for years, I dealt with that with, after I got out of the military, I dealt with that with booze, alcohol. Ultimately end up going through a divorce. I was always agitated and irritable, but I didn't know what I was dealing with. I started smoking marijuana, heavily drinking, and I would take any type of pain medication I could. I'm having these dreams, I'm not sleeping well at night, And 2000, a good buddy of mine I ran into, he says, man, what's wrong with you? He said, man, you always irritable. Every time I see you, you at the bar, man, you drinking and you... I'm like, man, I'm doing something. He said, well, you was in the Marine Corps. He said, why don't you go to the VA hospital? So in 2000, I go to the VA hospital in Philadelphia, but I was not getting the counseling type things I want. Then there again, partially I have to take my father to blame. When I had appointments set up and whatnot, I didn't want to go, and I mean, that's the way it is. So what happens to a lot of us, we have a certain type of pride that's instilled in us from serving in the military and looking at our age and looking at, from where we come from and where we're at. And a lot of times the veteran, like me, I have to take the onus of that, did not want to get the help once I started going. Because you got to realize I'm still battling alcohol at that time. I'm still, taking pills and smoking pot. I was very numb, I was very agitated. My family kind of ostracized me. My mom said, we don't want to do something until you get yourself some type of help. Then I moved up to Downingtown with a brother of mine, and I started going to Coatesville, 2nd VA Hospital. And there they have a mental health facility there. And that's when they really begin to tailor my problems. What is it? What are you dreaming about? Why is it? How frequently does it happen? And so as they began to peel back the onion, so to speak, the layers, and show me how to deal with it, they said, yeah, well, you do have PTSD. That's what it is. I'm thinking from what we heard about PTSD is somebody that's been in combat, guerrilla warfare, and that's what PTSD is. So I'd never identified with that. I didn't think it was. That was something severe. They said, no, there's different types of stages and different types of PTSD, post-traumatic stress traumas that you can get. And based on what you've gone through, you severe. This is what you have. What they taught me was that when after they come in and do an assessment, they record each incident and they play it back. And they start peeling back things I didn't remember, remembering dates, remembering names. They do it through such a systematic process. It works. But the veteran has to be willing to do his part. He's got to show up for his appointments or her appointments, and they've got to do what's being required of them, because at the end, you don't see it right up front. There's so much gray mass going on. But as the rainbow begins to come out, you begin to see a change in your life. You begin to see how you feel comfortable around people, how you can begin to trust people again. You can take people for their word. If anyone knows how to see something through from beginning to end, is a veteran. You learn that process from the day you're in at boot camp and the day you graduated from boot camp and went into your MOS. So there's people out there that want to help you. There's excellent programs, but get the help that's needed. It's there for you. Get the help that you need, that you may be able to give back to someone else.